Be happy but never chase happiness. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the psyop of anti-happiness, the psyop of social media, how you shouldn't be happy. I'm going to show you why success and happiness is directly correlated and why you often must be happy and grateful to become successful. It's going to be a very wide range of topics, but first things first, we're going to cover the anti-happiness psyop. So this is a social media psyop where people such as Tate and some of the other guys constantly propagate this idea that you must be anti-happiness. And I truly don't understand why this is, because I'm gonna get into the spiritual side of things, but why I'm actually credible to talk about this specific concept and topic of video is because I went full cycle. I went through the cycle of being completely sad and in despair and achieving some kind of momentum and achieving success with my business. And I went through the full cycle of achieving way more success when I was actually happy and grateful. So in the first 4 years of high school, or the whole 4 years of high school, I was trying to make this business successful. It was in the cybersecurity space. So it was like an agency that offers cybersecurity services. And I did this with two of my friends. During those 4 years, it was absolutely miserable. Like there were some ups and downs, like sometimes you sign a client, then you get disappointed. So it's always like this up and down kind of notion. It wasn't consistent. What was consistent was our feelings about the business. We were in constant despair. I don't know about the other two friends, but I was like feeling terrible because I connected a lot of the majority of my emotional state was directly correlated to what I was seeing in the external world. The success or the losses, it was constantly in this kind of volatile state. Like it was constantly up and down, up and down, up and down. It wasn't consistent. That was the point. And after those 4 years, when I actually started this business that actually gained me all of this success and money, that was like the peak of fucking despair. Like it was terrible, but somehow it pushed me into this completely different version of myself where I actually gathered the momentum that took me to making a lot of money with e-commerce. So I'm fully grateful for that. But on the other side, when I hired a mentor to teach me more about the spirituality side of stuff, a mentor that wasn't actually technical, to teach me about Facebook ads and marketing and all this stuff, when I hired that mentor, which was just about my mental, just about my spirituality and my inner state, I actually made way more money when I was actually happy and grateful about the reality I was living in. I gained way more success than on the contrary when I was in complete despair and depression. Like it's a whole different world. So why people propagate this anti-happiness notion is because it sounds cool, in my opinion. Like people love saying that they're suffering and they're in depression and sad because they're not successful, just because it sounds cool and sounds tough. But like if we look at it purely from a standpoint where you just want success, like it's binary, do you want success or not? If you want success, what is gonna bring you more success? If you constantly stay in the state of suffering and depression and like telling people that you're struggling, or if you just go against the social media notion that you shouldn't be happy and actually be happy and grateful and then achieve way more success. Like what is more logical here? It just comes down to the social validation type of stuff. If you get off on being socially validated that you're struggling and you're gonna risk seeing less success just because of that social validation, like that is completely illogical and it's dumb. So the anti-happiness psyop exists all over social media, especially in the so-called manosphere, especially in the online business space. And I'm not saying that you cannot succeed if you're suffering, if you're struggling. Like definitely those moments bring out a different version of yourself. And I cannot say that it can bring you success, because it did for me, bring me that initial momentum. It did bring success for other people, so it definitely works. But it's just about the perspective. Do you want to get rich while suffering or whilst being happy? Like it's a way cooler story if you suffer and be sad throughout your journey of becoming successful and rich. Like yeah, it sounds way more cooler, but like if we think about it from purely top-down perspective. Like, do you want more success when you're happy, or do you want less success because you're suffering? Like, it's a completely different thing. So next thing is that I've noticed that most people, especially beginners, and this is what happened to me, you often delay happiness. We as people love delaying things, love delaying these good feelings, and it's kind of in our nature. Like, we like delaying happiness. We say like, I'm gonna be happy when I get rich. So like, we correlate happiness with being rich, or we correlate happiness with being fit. I'm gonna be happy and I'm gonna be confident when I get jacked. Like, we correlate all these feelings with the external stuff. Now, there's a grand mistake here, and that is when you connect your emotional state to something that is outside of you, it's always going to be volatile. Like, you cannot control the external stuff. You simply cannot. The rain is going to fall today, maybe it's going to fall tomorrow, maybe it's going to fall 5 days in a row. You cannot control the external stuff. But what you can control is your internal state. It is your internal world. That is what you can control. So if you want to be consistently happy, you must connect happiness to your inner, to what is inside of yourself. If you can be happy purely off of your inner world, you're going to be consistently happy. Now, of course, I'm not saying that there's not going to be ups and downs in this sort of thinking. Of course, there's going to be, but like, if we think about it from purely long-term perspective, you're going to be way more happy, way more in these positive emotions if you're happy because you're connected with your internal. That is the primary notion of this. So people like to delay happiness because they want to validate how they are gonna feel and how they're gonna look with the external achievements. So this is what happened to me. I was also in this period where I was just like telling myself, I'm not gonna be happy, I'm not gonna be confident, I'm not gonna be feeling good until I achieve this goal. Now, an interesting thing that happens is this is you at 0, this is you at 10K a month. And this is supposedly when you're gonna be happy. And now you're sad. During this whole process, you're gonna be sad. Maybe there's gonna be some moments where you're a bit happy, but like most of the time you're gonna be sad. When you achieve 10K a month, what do you think is gonna happen? If you connected this to your internal state to what you see and feel in the external, what do you think is gonna happen? Because business is not consistent. Like, the biggest difference between you getting a 9 to 5 and working on your business is because on your 9 to 5, you're always gonna get the same paycheck on the same day. In business, it's not really like that. Like, you're always gonna be inconsistent with your income. Like, not always, but there's gonna be dips and ups and downs. Like, sometimes you're gonna make 10K, then you're gonna make 9K, then maybe 7.5K, then you're gonna make 15K. Like, this is always gonna be volatile. Your income is always gonna be volatile to a certain extent. And of course, you can control this, but like, imagine putting yourself in the state of mind that you're gonna be happy when you make 10K a month. What happens when you make 7.5K a month because, I don't know, you were fucking sick for 7 days and you couldn't work? Like, how does that work? Does that make sense? Like, this is the major problem with connecting your internal state with your external, because the external is always changing and most of the times you cannot control it. So that is the primary mistake people make, is that this is why you see people that say, yeah, I got rich and money didn't make me happy. This is exactly why, because they were in a state of sadness and despair at the beginning. They carry that over to the end point where they made, I don't know, $1 million. Then they made that money, and what happens then? They have this new goal, and they're gonna tell themselves, I'm not gonna be happy until I make 2 million, until I make 10 million. So what happens at the end of their lives? They're constantly chasing happiness. They are chasing happiness, and it's not coming to them. They're chasing because it is connected to their external world. It is not connected to their inner world. Now, there are going to be some people that are simply driven by the negative emotions. And that is a good attribute, that is a good ability to have. and it's really important to have that ability. But like, is it really worth it if you live your whole life chasing happiness, being happy for certain periods, then you go back to your despair? Like, I mean, that is okay if you truly want it, but like, many people want to feel happy, they want to feel these good emotions, but they don't have anybody to tell them that that is okay, that that is not bad if you're a man. So that is the second point. Third point, okay, this, yeah, I covered this. Now, why is happiness actually the key to success sometimes? Is because, let's put it like this, you have your inner, why is my pen not work? You have your inner, have your outer. This is the physical, the outer is the physical reality you're experiencing. This is your business, job, whatever you're doing. The inner is simply your inner state, what is happening inside of your soul, inside of your mind, inside of your body. So this is how the cycle goes. This is how the chain of reaction goes. In the inner, you feel a certain state. When I say state, I mean emotional state. This is a certain emotion that you feel on a consecutive, consistent basis. So this may be happiness, this may be sadness, this may be despair, depression, whatever. This is a state, emotional state. You feel it in your inner. After some period, that state transfers into thoughts. Or actually, this is the reverse. You feel some kind of thoughts, then you experience a state. When that state stays there for a considerable period of time, it transfers into a frequency. Now, frequency is just your state of consciousness, just your state of mind, what you think, feel, believe, and your frequency reflects in the outer. So, to put it simply, to put it in a easy to understand metric, so thought, that is the first thing. Let's say a thought of, now another thing I gotta point out, this thought must be an emotionally charged thought. So we have thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of thoughts every day, but we do not attribute the same emotional charge to every single one of those, because that would be impossible. So you might get a thought that you're fucking lazy. Now you may scratch that thought off, you may not think about it, you may just let it go, but a lot of the times that thought will carry into emotion. So what happens? You tell yourself, or this thought comes to you, I'm so fucking lazy. And then you look around yourself, you look that you didn't do anything productive today, you look at your desk, you look at your house, and you get fucking sad. Like, you become sad, like, yeah, I'm really, really fucking lazy. Like, I didn't do anything productive today, my house looks like shit, I have some bills to pay. And this is what happens. You feel all these negative emotions. So thought, emotionally charged thought, becomes an emotion or emotional state. After a certain period of time, when you carry this feeling, this state throughout your day, onto the next day, into your sleep, it becomes a frequency. So these people, think about the depressed people, they're constantly in the same state. They are constantly in the state of despair and sadness and depression, and they have emotionally charged thoughts about that state. They tell themselves, I'm so fucking lazy, I'm a loser, I'm never gonna amount to anything, I have these bills to pay. And their mind becomes like this fucking, I don't know even how to explain it, like a vortex. It's just spinning like a tornado, like all these different kinds of thoughts and feelings and emotions. It all happens in their mind. And this becomes a frequency. This is their state of consciousness. This carries into your beliefs, into your convictions, into your perception about the world. And when this happens, frequency will always be reflected in your outer world. So let's say the thought was lazy. I'm so fucking lazy. Then you felt sad. You carry that sadness throughout your day into your sleep, into the next day. It became a frequency. So now you think of yourself as a lazy person. Lazy and sad person. That is what you believe about yourself, because the external confirms it. You see your house being dirty. You see your bills not being paid. You see your laptop, you didn't do any work today. You see all of your objectives that you had to do, but you didn't do them. So your external reinforces what you believe about yourself. So now you're a lazy, sad person. And this is the crucial part. The frequency carries into your actions. And your actions, of course, bring certain kinds of results. Those results bring a certain life. So what these actions might be, if you truly believe and you're truly convinced that you're a lazy, sad person, you might just lay in bed all day. Or you might go to the doctor and get some antidepressants. You might, I don't know, eat bullshit every day. Or not go outside. Or stop talking to your friends. Because now you deem yourself as a sad, depressed, lazy person. You stop reading your books. You stop doing your work. Because now you put a label onto yourself. So these actions ripple through your lifestyle. They ripple through your lifetime. And they bring you certain kinds of results. Those results bring you a certain kind of life. They bring you a life of sadness. They bring you a life where you truly are a loser, until you can understand that your inner world will always be reflected in the outer. I cannot put it simply. Like, that is the simplest way I can explain this. If your inner world is terrible and depressed and anxious and nervous, it is going to be reflected in the things you see, in the people you talk to, in the events that you experience, in the circumstances that you find yourself in. It will always be reflected. So that proves the point that happiness is often the key to success. Now, why is that? Let's make a contrast. Let's bring this into thoughts. This is the first chain. You get a thought that, yeah, my life is actually super good. I have food to eat. My family's all well. I have a nice girl. I have some nice friends. So you become happy. So you think to yourself, my life is amazing. And you truly bask in that feeling, thinking about all the good that you see in your life. Think about all of your family that loves you. Thinking about the beautiful nature outside. Thinking about the sun outside. Thinking about the beautiful weather and all the good things that God has blessed upon you. And these thoughts get carried into a state, into an emotional state, into feelings, into emotions. So what do you feel? You feel happy. Feel grateful. You feel abundant. Like nothing can stop you. Feel all of these positive things simply because you entertained one thought, simply because you had the awareness, had the perception to see all of the good things, because you can always find the silver lining. No matter how bad the situation is, you can always find the silver lining and go back to your frequency of being happy. So this state carries into your frequency. That frequency carries into actions. Now, to explain frequency a bit more, it basically embodies your state of consciousness, which embodies your beliefs, your convictions, your perception, your emotions, your feelings, your convictions about the world. So if you're happy and grateful and abundant, what are you going to believe about the world? Especially if you want to find some success in online business, you want to become a rich entrepreneur. What do you believe about the world? You're going to believe that money is abundant. This life is so amazing. Money is so abundant. You're going to believe that everybody can get rich. And you believe that every day you put in this work is going to bring you monumental results. It's going to improve your life. It's going to improve your family's life, your friend's life. And you just bask in all these good feelings. And that forms into a frequency. That forms these certain kinds of beliefs that are all going to push you towards success. And it also changes your perception. Because think about the man that is happy from his internal world. For example, today in my city, there's no water for the whole day. I haven't drank fucking water in quite some time. And I'm lazy to go to the market. But like, am I going to be sad about that? Am I going to be like frustrated about that? Like, of course not. Look at the beautiful day today. Look at all these nice things. I have this nice laptop. I'm speaking. I'm conveying my thoughts and my my beliefs, like this is perfect. So your perception begins to change. You don't see for the purpose of this video, you don't see the bad weather as bad. It doesn't influence, it doesn't infect your mind. Like some people that go outside and they see it raining, they get all rambled up, all frustrated. Like, can you think about how low IQ can it be to do that? And this is a simple example. This goes way further. But like, I cannot go outside and feel bad because of the weather. Like, I'm still gonna be happy. I have this amazing life. And even if I lost everything, even if I went through the biggest bullshit ever, I'm still gonna be happy because God has given me this amazing opportunity to speak to the world, to do a lot of nice things, to have these amazing people around me. Like, I cannot be more grateful. Like, can you imagine what happens when this is your frequency? Then, when that frequency reflects your actions, what do you think you're gonna do every day? You're gonna wake up happy. You're gonna wake up feeling refreshed. You're gonna get on to work. You're gonna be happy to fucking sit down and do the work. Can you think about that? Most people are not even happy doing their work. How can you not be happy doing your work? It's literally bringing you amazing amounts of abundance and success and prosperity in this life. How can you be sad doing that? So you wake up happy. You even do the boring tasks with a lot of love, with a lot of appreciation. So suddenly, you're not even procrastinating. Suddenly, you don't feel lazy to call your mom and tell you how grateful you are for her. Like, suddenly, all these small little things that sometimes when you were sad, you overlooked or you felt lazy to do, now when you're happy, they're so easy. And for the purpose of this video, just to show you the power of this. Now, this is of course not a good practice, but I mean, it is, but can you imagine yourself having $50 million in your bank? And you wake up in the morning. How would you wake up actually? Would you be sad that there is no water today in the city? Would you be sad that some guy online said some bullshit that would have frustrated you right now? Like, imagine waking up with $50 million, going down into the street, your favorite coffee shop is there, sit down, drink some coffee, maybe you spill some coffee. You're not gonna be frustrated, you have $50 million. Are you gonna be frustrated that, I don't know, your car broke down? And this is the state I want you to be in every day. This is a simple exercise that proves to you that happiness is often the key to success. It is the key to discipline. It is the key to doing the hard things, because if you're happy in doing the hard things, you can always do them. And you're not gonna feel bad doing them. And this simple exercise proves to you just how much power your emotions hold, just how much your emotions can influence your day-to-day life. Now, I'm not saying, don't take this wrong, I'm not saying that you should let your emotions dictate what you do in this world. Of course, I'm not saying that you're always going to be happy, you're always going to be consistently in the state of prosperity and abundance. Like, of course, there's going to be ups and downs. Like, that is the nature of life. Everything comes and goes. But if you can consistently be, or try to be consistently in this feeling of happiness, even when the bad things happen, you can find the silver lining to pull yourself towards. If I were to say one last sentence, it would be that your inner will always create your outer. Therefore, you must change and program your inner state to match the things that you want to achieve, to feel the things that you would feel when you achieve that goal, but live through them right now. Live through them every day. If you can do that, I can assure you, I can almost guarantee you that the goals you want to achieve will come to you faster than if you didn't apply these concepts. So don't fall for the psyop that happiness is bad. Don't fall for the psyop that you had to suffer to get rich, because I'm the living proof that that is not the case. There's many other people that did that too. Be happy. Never chase happiness. Never chase things in the external. Feel those emotions in your internal. The external will follow. That is everything. So, hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day.